want to perform the rotation with respect to YZ plane, like that multiple rotations you want to perform. Here we are using quaternions. How we are going to use the quaternions, the discussion which we already done in last class. Okay, so once again we'll see. Once again we'll see last class what we discussed, then we'll continue for today class, right? So what we have discussed basically with respect to x, y, z, where the rotation around u, uh, rotation around u, rotation of u around the x-axis into your xz plane is accomplished by rotating the initial position of your unit vector u, then the next position after with respect to xz plane, it is u dash, that is a projection of u in yz plane through that angle of alpha. Okay, so here the rotation of theta we are considering z axis, right? So the unit vector with respect to z axis, the value is going to be 0 comma 0 comma 1. So projection of u in the yz plane as the vector u dash is equal to, so if it is yz plane, obviously your x value is going to be 0. Then with respect to y value, where b and z value c. Okay, so the unit vector value initially it is a comma b comma c, right? So here the x value is going to be 0 with respect to yz plane. So when you are going to calculate the cos alpha u dash into u with unit vector with respect to z axis, okay, then model your magnitude value u dash, modular of u dash as well as uz, where you got the value c by d. So your d value says about root of b square plus c square. Similarly with respect to cross product sine theta value. So here with respect to cos alpha is equal to u dash into uz, where u dash value is 0 comma b comma c, and u with respect to unit vector z axis value is going to be 0 comma 0 comma 1. So when you perform the dot product operation, where you will get 0 into 0 0, b into 0 0, c into 1 c divided by then your magnitude value with respect to your u dash as well as uz, modular of u dash as well as modular of unit vector with respect to z axis, 0 square plus b square plus c square, then the modular of your uz unit vector with respect to z axis value 0 square plus 0 square plus 1 square. So your cos alpha value is equal to c divided by root of b square plus c square. So finally dot product value we got cos theta equal to c by d, where we have said the angle is alpha, so cos alpha equal to c by d, where this particular magnitude of u d we can rewrite root of b square plus c square, right? Similarly with respect to cross product, okay, cross vector calculation will you do, like suppose for example you can put into a matrix when you are writing the complex number I into b minus 0 minus j into here 0 as well as 0 plus k into 0 0. Similarly you can write the cross product with respect to your u dash value 0 comma b comma c, and unit vector with respect to z axis value 0 comma 0 comma 1. So when you are going to perform the cross product, where you can see, okay, with respect to I, where you get b minus 0, then here remaining values are 0, only you'll get here b. So here moderate your modular vector with respect to u dash as well as the unit vector with respect to z axis. Okay, so modular value is going to be d, b by d. So here we can write cos theta equal to C by D, sin theta equal to B by D. So put into the matrix the rotation with respect to x axis, where you can write 1 0 0 0 0 cos theta and minus sin theta 0, then sin theta cos theta 0. So you can write this matrix. Similarly, the next swing, first swing it happened at y z plane. Okay, so next swing is going to happen at x z plane with respect to counter clockwise. Okay, so here you are already u dash value, what you got 0 comma b comma c, right? So here with respect to one second. Okay, u dash value you got 0 comma b comma c, right, where with respect to unit vector z axis 0 comma 0 comma 1. Okay, so here next swing what you are going to see with respect to y z plane, first you've done the calculation, next swing you are going to do with respect to x z plane. So the orientation of the unit vector in the x z plane resulting from the rotation about x axis. Okay, so this vector labeled u has the value a for its x, a for its x, then because the rotation about x axis leaves x component unchanged. Okay, so here your initial value is going to be a comma b comma c. Previous yz plane rotation you got the value 0 comma b comma c, right? So next swing we are performing x z plane counterclockwise. Okay, around which axis? Around y axis on to the positive z axis. So when you are going to perform your xz plane, x value is going to be unchanged. Okay, and you are performing with around y axis, so y value 0, it is z component is d. Why? Because the magnitude of u, the magnitude of u vector, where you are writing your z component is going to be d. So because the vector u has been rotated onto z axis, where we are considering positive rotation angle beta aligns u double dash the value with a comma 0 comma d. Okay, so initially what is the value? A comma b comma c. We are rotating with respect to angle z axis. Okay, so in first we have taken y z plane. In y z plane, resultant with respect to u dash, what we got? 0 comma b comma c. Okay, so why? Because y z plane we are doing with respect to counterclockwise, so x value is going to be 0. Then here the next swing we are performing x z plane. In x z plane, x value is going to be unchanged by a, y value is going to be 0. Then here your z component is going to be the magnitude, that is magnitude of u, that is the value is d, what we calculated in previous calculations. Okay, so here you are going to calculate with respect to cos theta u double dash into uz with respect to z axis unit vector divided by u double modular of u double dash as well as uz, where uz as well as u double dash equal to 1 as per our previous notations. So here you got cos beta value is equal to d, and as I told you, I, j, k, where here the values are a comma 0 comma d, right? So I, j, k, a 0 d. Then next third row 0 comma 0 comma 1. So when you are going to calculate the cross product with respect to I, where it is going to be here 0 and here, then minus j into a minus 0. So you got the sine theta value equal to minus a. Therefore, the transformation matrix rotation about the y-axis with respect to y, you are going to write d cos theta 0 sine theta 0, then 0 1 0, then cos theta, sorry, minus sine theta, then 0, then cos theta. Okay, so with respect to the transformation matrix for rotation of u about y-axis, you got this matrix value. Okay, cos theta equal to d, sine theta equal to minus a, right? So you written. So here on which angle we are rotating? So together with we are rotating with respect to z-axis. Z-axis, your transformation matrix, you know, cos theta minus sine theta cos theta, and 0 and 0 0 1. This is your with respect to z-axis rotation. Okay, so put together, when you are going to perform the rotation around arbitrary axis, how we can write the transformation matrix for rotation about an arbitrary axis can be expressed as the composition of these 7 individual transformations. That is, first you are doing the translation of given object, then you are performing rotation with respect to xy plane, as well as you are performing with respect to angle of theta, that is with respect to z axis. Then you are bring back the rotation to the original position, then you are bring back the translation to the original position. Okay, and the method for obtaining the composite rotation matrix, okay, of y rotation into x rotation is to use the fact that the composite matrix for any sequence of 3-dimensional rotation is of the form here rotation first row, second row, as well as third row. When you are going to write this 3 into 3 submatrix of matrix in orthogonal, okay, which means the rows or the columns of the submatrix form is set of orthogonal unit vectors, so that are rotated by the matrix R onto x, y, and z axis respectively. So how we can perform with respect to your rotation with respect to x, rotation with respect to y, as well as rotation with respect to z. Okay, and this says about the position of composite rotation matrix. Okay, in general, how you can write, which means the local coordinate system for a rotation axis that is defined by unit vector u, where you are going to do the rotation with respect to the axis point of x, y, z plane, where you can write your u dash z value. Why? Because here angle of your unit vector is z axis. Okay, so you are going to perform with respect to your xy plane, right? You are going to perform with respect to xy plane, where you can consider the rotation with respect to the unit vector z axis. Okay, you can write as here it mentioned composite matrix rotation. You can write with unit vector with respect to the new unit vector with respect to x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, as well as z1, z2, z3. Okay, so This quaternion methods for three-dimensional rotations, how you can characterize, one way to characterize a quaternion is as an added pair which consists of a scalar as well as a vector part, right? For example, if you take the element, you can the quaternion is equal to the respective scalar as well as ordered pairs. The pair consists of scalar product as well as vector product. Okay, so here the rotation about any axis passing through the coordinate origin is accomplished by first setting up a unit quaternion, where scalar product you can rewrite cos theta by 2, where vector product you can write the particular unit vector of sin theta by 2. So you know where this particular u is a unit vector, along with the rotation of theta, what you are going to select, either you are going to select the rotation axis of x or rotation axis of y or rotation axis of z, and theta will specify the rotation angle. Okay, so any point in p in quaternion rotation, if you take, if it is p is equal to 0 comma p, okay, where your p says about x and y and z coordinate values. Okay, so the rotation of the point p is carried out with quaternion operational, where your p dash equal to q into p into q inverse, which means the translation, then inverse translation, where q dash inverse translation your vector product scalar product as well as minus vector product. Why? Because this is going to change with respect to your unit vector. Okay, that's why it is minus v. Then this produce your p dash equal to 0 comma p dash. So when you are going to rewrite the second term in this ordered pair, where you are going to rewrite in this ordered pair is the rotated point position p, and which is evaluated with the vector dot product as well as cross product, as you can rewrite like this: p dash equal to s square p plus v into v dot product plus 2s into v into p cross product plus v in cross product of v into p. That you can rewrite like this when you take the vector, the quaternion operations. Okay, many computer graphic systems use efficient hardware implementation of these vector calculations to perform rapid three-dimensional object rotations. Okay, as what we discussed, the rotation with respect to x, rotation with respect to y, as well as the rotation theta angle is z-axis. So designating the components of the vector part q as b. So here your vector value is going to be a comma b comma c, which we mentioned initially with respect to x comma y comma z of coordinate origins. Then we obtain the elements for the composite rotation matrix. Okay, your inverse matrix value with respect to x, that is this matrix value, rotation with respect to x axis, then rotation with respect to your y axis, then the rotation angle is your z axis. So when you are going to multiply all three, then along with the inverse of your x rotation as well as y rotation, you will get this matrix value. You can just do the calculation, and you can check it in 3 into 3 form, as you will get the matrix value. Then further, using your cos square theta by 2 minus sin square theta by 2, where we mentioned here your scalar as well as vector product value, where you can write cos square theta minus sin square theta equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta divided by 2 equal to cos theta. So this you can apply, and you can rewrite here. Okay, you can rewrite here, you will get the value, which means here how we have got this means, like initially what we got with respect to the rotation of yz axis. Yz axis equal to cos theta equal to c by d, and sin theta equal to b by d. Okay, so based on these values, okay, and you can just rewrite this rotation matrix. So about an arbitrarily placed rotation axis, or a rotation of the particular theta angle, equal to your inverse transformation matrix. That is initially what we have written, the transformation matrix. Initially the transformation matrix value what we have written. Okay, the translation of the rotation axis to the coordinate region, right? And when you apply that inverse transformation, and where we have rewrite this transformation matrix, multiply with again back to the translate to original position. So quaternions require less storage space than 4 into 4 matrices, and it is simpler to write quaternion procedures for transformation sequences. Basically, here for 3-dimensional rotation as well as higher dimensions, we can use the quaternions. So one or more rotation when you are going to perform, as well as when you are going to deal with the complex number. So we are using quaternions, where the advantage is it occurs less storage space when you are going to perform 4 into 4 matrix. Is what is the value compared to that. Okay, so this is particularly important in animations which often require complicated motion sequences, and the interpolations, motion interpolations between two given position of the object. Suppose if you are going to perform your xy rotation with respect to z axis, so if you are going to do multiple rotations, so which will help you in the quaternions, right? This is about quaternions, and the calculation part you can check it down uh, through the previous matrix what we discussed. Okay, next topic is affine transformations. Basically, this affine transformations says about linear transformations. Okay, so what is linear transformations? Linear transformations, suppose with respect to 2-dimensional, if you are going to take the coordinate value x and y, okay, what is the input you are going to give, same equivalent it affects the output. Okay, so that is going to be your linear transformation. Suppose if you are going to double of the input, if you are getting double of the output, that is going to be a linear transformation. If any changes over this, then it is going to be non-linear transformations. Okay, so here affine transformation is linear transformation between vector space followed by the translations. So any point, if you take coordinate origin with respect to x comma y comma z, And if you are going to do the translation to new point x dash comma y dash comma z dash, and if you are going to give the value whatever as a input, okay, and if you are going to give the double of the input, you are going to get the output as a double of output. If any changes in this, then that is going to be non-linear transformation. So non-rigid transformation such as shear or deformations, right? And in order to incorporate the idea that both the basis as well as the origin can change, where we augment the linear space u comma v with an origin t. So for example, very simple, I can say affine transformations, whatever you are doing, the translation, rotation, reflection, all are the best example for your affine transformations. That's very simple, right? So while u and v are basis vectors, the origin t is a point, so we can call u comma v and t, basis and origin, a frame for an affine space. Okay, so where you can write the new affine space value, you can write x into u plus y into v plus t, right? So basically the coordinate transformation of the form, whatever the changes happened, okay, is called affine transformation, which means the linear transformation changes, which we used to call an affine transformations. Each of the transformed coordinates x dash, y dash and z dash is a linear function of the original coordinates of x, y and z, and the parameters of aij and bk are constants determined by the transformation type. So affine transformations, where you can see in 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional or higher dimensionals, have the general properties that parallel lines are transformed into parallel lines, finite points map into finite points. So the best example you can see for the affine transformations are your translation, rotation, scaling, reflection and shear. Okay, and where you can see in 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional as well as higher dimension. Okay, and next, a few OpenGL geometric transformation functions, where GL translate, where it specify the translation parameters, rotate, it specify rotation about any axis through the set coordinate region. Similarly, scaling the parameters with respect to coordinate region, and where matrix mode, where in under matrix mode we have two different model view matrix as well as your projection matrix. And here matrix mode, what specify current matrix for geometry weaving transformations, comma projection transformations, texture transformations or color transformations. Whatever way you can use this particular matrix mode. Okay, and load identity, set the current matrix to identity. The functions all we have used in our programs, right? And push matrix as well as pop matrix, which you use to draw a teapot, okay, shaded teapot. And what basically push matrix does, copies the top matrix in the stack and store in the second stack position. Pop matrix, which will erase the old and replace the second stack into top of the stack, right? As well as GL pixel zoom specifies 2-dimensional scaling parameters for raster operations, right? So this is about